Hi, I'm David Loring, and I've been a Flight Club member since 2018. I've been a pilot for 5 years now, and Flight Club has really helped me on my journey to achieve my aviation goals, and more than just aviation. I started out over at the other hangar, Hangar 5, not super invested at the beginning, to be honest. My dad, who has been my mentor throughout all my life, but especially in aviation, has consistently emphasized safety and enjoyment, making sure you continue to enjoy flying as you go along to maintain motivation, particularly because I wasn't very motivated at the beginning. I started learning on the Cessna 150s back when Flight Club had them with Rob, and I got all the way to solo. And I think just the more I flew, the more motivated I became. I vividly remember my first solo, getting into an airplane on my own for the first time. I think after the first touch and go, I started singing just whatever was in my head at the time. I whistled a fair bit too. I like to whistle. Really, just the more I learned about aviation, the more enamored with it I became. It really has grown on me. And I really do love a lot of the small things in aviation. There's just a lot of little habits that pilots pick up. And if you're going out with someone who really knows their stuff, they can tell you exactly why you wait to pull the power after you take off, because that's the most likely time for some kind of engine failure. You make sure that the fuel pumps are on and you leave them on for a couple of seconds when you're switching tanks, for just making sure that everything is going to be working. And there's just a million little habits like that in the air and on the ground that have been built up with such a safety mindset in aviation. And I think that's one of the aspects I love most about flying, just how safety-oriented things are and how there's so much emphasis on good decision making. I think that checklists and safety procedures help me with my degree in my college life as well. I would try and bring that same level of rigor to flying. I would want to know exactly why we're doing a specific procedure. And then with flying, I would take that back to my college experience, and I would have checklists for myself. You've got to leave everything on the ground that's stressing you out behind. It doesn't matter. My dad, my biggest mentor, when he was teaching me to drive, he said when he gets in an airplane, you just got to wipe it all off and put it behind you. And I've carried that throughout driving, throughout flying, when I'm getting into the mindset for studying for school. It's useful to be able to sit down and really focus on what matters. And aviation is so powerful for that, because when you're up in the airplane, that's what matters. And carrying that mindset into other aspects of life is a really powerful tool. Being in the zone in the cockpit is a skill, and it's something you have to learn, and aviation teaches you. I remember Flight Club as always being an excellent place to come and study. The environment is social and relaxed, and it's an excellent place to just come and hang out. And I've used it as a place to come and study. When I started learning to fly, I was learning to fly in the Cessna 150 fleet. And my first solo was in T-Rex. But after I did that solo, that was the summer I graduated from high school. So then I went off to college for my first year, and I really put aviation aside for a little bit to focus on my studies. When I came back, I started learning in the Diamond 20s. And I think it was an excellent opportunity because I was learning 2 different aircraft initially. So I got a spread of different systems to learn from, going from a carbureted aircraft to an injected aircraft. I think it was formative for me as a pilot to be able to learn both those systems and to transition between those 2 aircraft. All my instructors have always been very encouraging of me. I tend to be a very harsh critic on myself in many things in life, in aviation, in mathematics, in dance. I am a perfectionist, and being a perfectionist is not a great thing when you're trying to build something. There's a point where what you have is good enough. Taking a break from something and letting your mind just work on whatever your task is in the background is an excellent thing. And my instructors, when I was a student pilot, were always able to facilitate that with me. Matthew Sutherland and Rob and Patrick O'Donoghue, Grayson Burkhart, all these instructors, fantastic. And so I've tried to carry that forward to teaching my students, making sure to take breaks when necessary, taking a step back and looking at why we enjoy aviation is the most important step, maintaining that motivation. We fly because it's fun, it's exciting. Some of the most important flights to me, where I learned the most, were to just look out the window, out to the side, and just kind of look at everything below you. It's beautiful. And I think it's really important to keep that in mind. Do fun things with flying so that you understand why you're doing it. I think that that's been some of the most valuable flights to me. It's a marathon. It's not a race. It's not a sprint to the check ride. If things take time, then they take time. And looking back on it, you won't regret that you took a little bit longer to transition between two airplanes. You won't regret that you didn't fly because the weather was not the greatest. You might have been able to go up, but you just took a step back and decided not to go flying. And it pushed back your check ride, it pushed back your solo. All those little setbacks, it's okay to have those. They're valuable. And taking them and carrying them forward with you and sharing them with the people around you and being vulnerable about the mistakes you've made and the journey you've had is really valuable.